What's up, fam? Trying out some new setup here. It looks pretty good. Could probably go a little bit brighter. Okay. What's up, guys? Gonna give you guys just a second. I've got a few minutes before I go eat some dinner with the fam, but I've been studying something here in 1 Peter 5 that, man, I'm fired up about, and I think it's going to help some people. Side note, I don't know if I can show it to you right now. I'm finishing up another book, and I think it's gonna be one of them like kind of controversial Trav style books, but I think it's gonna help a lot of people. The tentative title is "God Doesn't Need You Dead." Sounds pretty good, right? Probably keep some people alive a little bit longer, but I'm excited about it. Let's go over to 1 Peter 5. How's everybody doing? Y'all doing good? Hit me up in the chat. If you're watching this live, let me know. If you're watching the replay, let me know. But I got something fun for you today. You know this thing about pride. There's a lot of scriptures that talk about pride. Proverbs 16:18 says pride leads to destruction. Haughtiness before a fall. Another one says that pride leads to disgrace. Hey, Lakeisha. Awesome. Glad you're here. Pride leads to disgrace. Pride leads to destruction. Pride leads to basically describing dishonor. It's not good. And there are times when we think that pride looks like, you're walking around with arrogant and you're cocky and you're a jerk and you're talking down to people. And that, I guess that's a part of it. That's more of haughtiness. You seen that word, a haughty spirit? That's technically more what that looks like. But pride can have a lot of different forms. And 1 Peter 5, verse 5 says that God is opposed to the proud. Another translation adds, he resists the proud. One says he frustrates the proud. But he gives grace, favor, and blessing to the humble. So I'm reading this. I'm like, all right, I need to understand what this looks like. So if we go to verse 6, now I don't know if you ever heard this before because it was revelation to me. Therefore, humble yourselves under the mighty hand of God. Set aside your self-righteous pride so that he may exalt you. I just did a YouTube video on this. It's called How to Flow Daily in God's Grace, Favor, and Blessings. If you haven't watched it yet, go watch it. There's something in there that blew my mind as well, so I had to share it with you guys. It's anyway, I think it's powerful. Okay. Verse 7, it tells you how to actually humble yourself. It says by casting all your cares, anxieties, and worries and concerns onto him once and for all, because he cares with you with deepest affection and watches over you very carefully. Verse 8, this is where I was getting at right here. This is it. Be sober, be well-balanced and self-disciplined. Be alert and cautious at all times, for the enemy of yours, the devil, prowls around like a roaring lion seeking someone to devour. So I'm reading this. One translation says seeking whom he may devour. So I'm like, if he may devour some people, that means he may not devour some other people. What's the difference? How do I make sure me and my family are the ones he cannot devour? And I thought about a couple interesting things here. I heard it said that pride causes you to hide, but humility is honesty. And I thought about a couple different things here. I was looking at here. It says the devil walks around like a lion. Well, I'm like, how do lions hunt? Went and did some research. I think we knew this anyway, but I wanted to do some Google and do some researching. And it talks about how lions seek the isolated prey. If there's a pack of wildebeest, it doesn't go attack the pack. it goes and attacks the isolated one. It goes and attacks the sick one, the weak one, the slow one. Think about Satan. Think about people you know who have been picked off by the enemy. There's been several times where you guys know that I host a coaching program, and we do a mastermind meetup every week, and we call it an accelerator call. I've been a part of them myself for years and years and years, of different shapes and sizes and different costs. I've paid up to $50,000 to be in some of these things. And an interesting thing happens. I've felt it before and I've seen it happen, is we get in a spot where we don't want to show up to something. It could even be your church. We don't want to show up to something because we don't want to have to face a feeling of inadequacy. We don't want to have to face feeling like a failure or feeling inferior. Maybe you go to one of these things. It could just be your church. Like I said, it could be a family gathering. It could be a friend group. It doesn't really matter. It could be a mastermind. It could be a business program. It could be any of these things. But you show up and you're looking at other people that maybe seem more successful than you, or maybe they have faster results than you. Maybe they're younger than you, but they seem further ahead than you. Maybe you told them you had goals, and you told them your goals, and here's what I'm going to do by this meeting, and then you didn't get them done. And so you decide not to show up. Well, what happens is, this is describing it perfectly. Pride covers and hides. Pride doesn't want to show up to these things. It didn't seem like that was pride, because it's rooted in an insecurity. It's rooted in a fear. Pride, the reason pride leads to destruction. Did you notice it doesn't say sin leads to destruction or sin comes before a fall? It says pride does those things. Well, pride causes you to isolate. I don't want to show up. I don't want to be honest. And that's who gets picked off. You stop going to church. You stop going to the friend groups. You stop going to the small groups. Stop coming to the Bible study. Stop coming to the mastermind. I got a friend who stopped coming to his business coaching program because he said, I was going to hit this goal by Friday. He didn't hit it. He was embarrassed to show up. He felt like a fraud, an imposter, a loser. I got to get this thing done like I said I would before I show up, but it caused him to short circuit. He never showed up, didn't get the support that he wanted, and then he never came back to the program after that. And it caused his life to take a different path. Pride isolates. Just like in a pack, if you're the isolated, alone one, the enemy can pick you off. If we are God's sheep, he is our shepherd. There's a reason he leaves the 99 to go get the one, because the one by itself, the isolated one, is the one the enemy picks off. So you need to check yourself. Here's another interesting thing. The next verse in 1 Peter 5:7, where it talks about casting your cares and your anxieties. Well, right before that, it says, humble yourself by casting your cares onto him. When we carry our cares, carry our worries, carry anxiety, carry that burden, how am I gonna? What am I gonna? You're sweating, you're worried, you're staying up late, you're losing sleep. All those things, you live that way. Science has proven over and over, you don't need science to tell us this, but science has also proven over and over again that it makes your body sick. You worry yourself into sickness. You can even, people getting ulcers because of this, and worse things. Well, if you're carrying your cares and your burdens, you're actually in pride, because you're saying, God can't handle it. I got to do something. You may not consciously say that. You may subconsciously say it, though. I don't know why that just happened. You may subconsciously be like, man, nothing's happened yet. Bills are due. I got to make something happen. I got to go do this. And you're carrying your cares. You're worrying. Okay, that makes you sick. Who does the lion, the devil, pick off? The sickly, the isolated. So you're doing these things that put you in the back of the pack and get you out and get you vulnerable for the enemy to get you. That's what happens. We go from, if we stay in pride, we become prey. I want us to check ourselves on this. I want to make sure we're not doing this at any level or degree. So those little red flag thoughts of, I don't want to show up to that. Again, sometimes we don't let our thoughts, we don't challenge those thoughts and say, okay, why don't I want to go? Well, I don't want to go because if I go, I'm going to have to talk to people who are crushing it or further ahead than me or seem like they have better results than I do. I'm going to feel like a loser because I've been in the game longer than them. I should be further ahead. So I'm going to have these feelings. And then you come up with a reason and you're like, oh, I got to take my car into the shop. I'm not going to be able to make it. Knowing you could have taken your car into the shop after the meeting, after the call, after the whatever, you know what I mean? Like we'll just come up with stuff. We'll just let things happen to get in the way of it. And it's because we don't want to go confront it. We don't want to confront it because of pride. I don't want to face that chance of feeling weird, feeling gross, feeling like a loser, feeling bad. I don't want that feeling. So I'm just not going to go. So we need to check ourselves. Are we doing this anywhere? Are you doing this? Is there a reason you haven't gone to church, feeling levels of condemnation? Man, pride's all involved in this. The prideful person won't repent. God, I messed up. The person who doesn't repent is in pride, and he can easily get picked off. The person who doesn't apologize, who walks in unforgiveness. I don't need to apologize for that. They were in the wrong. No, get over it. Give them a pass. Matthew 6 talks about let go of all resentment. So let it go. Walk in love. That's how you humble yourself. The prideful person is the one that becomes prey. A humble person is honest. A humble person is open and transparent, but pride covers. Pride hides. So that's good revelation for me. This is how lions hunt. They look for that person or that the devil walking around as a lion looks for that person. Just make sure it's not you. Fix those things. Let's get out of pride. Humble yourself. Go check out these scriptures again. It's 1 Peter 5:5 through 5. You can go through 5:10. It's really good. All the translations are great. I've got it here in the Amplified. 1 Peter 5:5 through 5:10. Really go through those scriptures. Man, dissect this stuff. Take a look at it. What does it mean? What is it talking about? How does this apply in real life? Let's get free. I don't want you guys getting picked off. I'm checking myself on all this stuff too. We've all got areas for improvement. All right. I love you guys. Make sure you subscribe if you're watching on YouTube. Make sure you subscribe and hit that notification bell. I don't know if you've seen lately, but I've had a lot of new sermons and Bible studies and lessons and all kinds of cool stuff coming out. So make sure you subscribe and hit that bell and go check some of these recent ones. I think they're really good. Also, I feel like my thumbnail game I've really stepped up my thumbnail game, but y'all ain't saying nothing. So, I could use some thumbs up on that or something. So, all right. Love you guys. I'm getting out of here. Let me know if you have any questions in the comment below. I'll see you guys tomorrow.